guys, welcome back to IUSL School's YouTube channel. This is Pritha and today we'll be continuing on our SQL query optimization series. So today we will continue with our second tip, which is assigning proper data type. Now, when working with SQL databases, assigning the correct data types to your column is a key factor in optimizing query performance. Data type defines the kind of data that can be stored in each column, such as integers, text, or date. Now, MySQL supports various kinds of data types. The first one is numeric data type. So, integer. It is a medium integer and it has a huge range, as you can see from the screen. But whatever may be the range, the integer is displayed only up to 255 integer width. Only 255 numbers are shown on the display. No more than that is shown. So the next one is float. Now float and double, both of them are decimal numbers. Now MySQL, in the previous versions of MySQL, float and double needed to be assigned differently for each column. But in the newer version, float only assigning float and giving the p parameter accordingly sets it either to float or to double. Now, what is the difference between float and double? The only difference between them, double allows you to give more precision in your decimal numbers, while float doesn't allow such a vast precision. So, when we need to be more accurate in our data, we will use double. But when precision can be compromised a little bit, we will use float. Now, here we can see that when the value of p is between 0 and 24, the data type becomes float. But when the value of p is between 25 and 53, the data type becomes double. Now the last one is Boolean. So in Boolean, it is just a true-false based column. When it is 0, the value is considered to be false, and when it is anything other than 0, any non-zero number, it is true. Next, let us go to string data type. Now under string data type, the main two are character and varchar. Character is a fixed length string, whereas varchar is a variable length string. Now, both of them takes up a parameter size, which we have to specify. Now, for the character size, for the char data type, the default is 1, but it can be between 0 to 255. But for the varchar, the size will be in the range of 0 to 65,535 characters. Text is kind of similar, containing 65,535 bytes. Now comes the enum or set data type. Both of them takes up a list of values while assigning that data type to your column. Now, when we put values in that column which has been assigned these two data types, it will only take input which is already mentioned in the previously made list. So the difference between these two is that when a column is assigned an enum data type, only one character, only one value will be put in one row. But for the set data type, multiple values can be put in a single row. Now comes the date and time data type. Date has a format of YYYY-MM-DD, and the time has a format of HH:MM:SS. Now comes the date time or timestamp data type. Both of them allows a combination of date and time containing the format of both date and time combined. Now, what is the difference between them? The first difference is that date time allows a vast range of dates as an input, but timestamp doesn't support such a range. It has only a limited range of between 1970 to 2038. But in the contrary, timestamp can handle time zone difference, while date time is inefficient in dealing with time zone difference. Now, let's talk about the data type storage. For the numeric data type, integer only takes up 4 bytes of space, while float takes up 4 bytes and double takes up 8 bytes. And last but not the least, Boolean takes up only 1 byte. For the string data types, character, as I said before, it has a fixed length. So, what do we mean by that? Now, let's discuss that a bit. So, as I said, character has a parameter called size. Now, when suppose we input a size of 40 in there, but the value that we enter in the column contains only 25 characters. Now, what will SQL do with this difference between 40 and 25. For the character data type, this difference will be filled up with space, because the memory size will always be 40, the thing that you have defined before. But this is where VARCHAR comes into play. In case of VARCHAR, this same difference will be just ignored. The value that here, the 40 that you have mentioned before, is the maximum size of your value. It doesn't mean that all your values have to be that size. If you enter a 25 size data, it will only take up a space of 25 bytes and not a single byte more than that. Now, for ENUM, it only takes 1 or 2 bytes as per the list that you have mentioned. And the last one, set, takes up 1, 2, 3, 4 or 8 bytes depending on the number of the set members. Now, for the date and time data type, date takes up to 3 bytes. Time takes up 3 bytes plus fractional second storage. The fractional seconds that we mentioned in the time data types will take up additional space. Now for 1 to 2, it will be 1 byte. 3 to 4, it will be 2 bytes. And 5 to 6, it will be 3 bytes. For date time, it will be 5 bytes plus the similar fractional second storage. For timestamp, it will be again 4 bytes plus fractional second storage. Now let's look at what is the importance of choosing the right data type. Efficiency and speed. Choosing the right data type ensures that your database runs efficiently. Smaller data types require less storage and can be processed faster. For example, if a column only needs to store small numbers, using a smaller integer type like tinyInt instead of int can save space and speed up your query. Next one is indexing and searching. Proper data types make indexing more effective. Now, what is indexes? One example of indexes is primary key. Primary keys helps you find your data much faster and more efficiently. So, indexes help SQL queries find data quickly, and smaller, simpler data type makes these indexes more efficient. Like in primary key, if your primary keys are much smaller, like 1, 2, 3, something like that, instead of a big 12 letter or 12 digit integer, it will be much faster. This means your queries will run faster, especially when dealing with large data. Now again, data integrity. The correct data type ensures that only valid data is stored in your database. For instance, using a date type for a date column ensures that only valid dates can be stored, reducing errors and ensuring data consistency. Now last one, memory usage. The memory used during query execution is influenced by the data type. Using appropriate data types reduces memory usage, which is particularly important when working with large amounts of data. So, this is all about why we should choose the right data type for our columns. Bye guys. We will meet again in the next episode of this same series.